Welcome to the PinkpillRx podcast, hosted by Katie and Jay Fillmore, where we navigate complex and thought-provoking topics surrounding women with a focus on education. For shorter form content, follow us on TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube at Caters88 or PinkpillRx.
That's KATORS88.
If you enjoy this podcast, please give us a follow and maybe a nice review.
So I wanted to give a little bit of a course update. We have been talking about the e-course that is coming out called How the Patriarchy Harms Men. And we've run into some technical difficulties. It's going to be a little delayed. So it's still coming, but I don't think it's going to be out in March, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's been some life difficulties.
Yes. And we also recently had a tornado come through our area. I don't want to tell you what our area is, but I'm sure that you could figure it out if you looked at the news. It hit about a mile and a half from our house. We were super lucky. We did not get any damage, but the kids have been home from school. The schools have been shut down. There's just been a lot going on. In addition to that, that's more of a recent thing. But yes, there's been some life stuff that has just come up, made things a little more difficult. But it is coming, and we promise that it is coming. Yes. So please stay interested.
And I've had a lot of work come up in my business the past couple months.
Yes.
Really the past 6 to 8 weeks. And this storm just kind of added to it.
Yeah. So we're going to be busy doing literal damage control for a while, unfortunately, and having to put some things on pause for a little bit. But we will be back. I promise.
A little bit.
Just a little bit.
We're trying.
Would say. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Will you crack my door just a little bit?
Yeah. So I want to start off just softball today. We'll just jump in with some softball questions.
Relaxed.
I have some mind tricks that I play on myself, and I'm wondering if you have any mind tricks that you play on yourself. For example, one of the tricks that I use, I posted about recently, talking about how when I have something coming up that I'm nervous about, I'm anxious about, and I've done everything that I can do to prepare for that thing, to stop myself from ruminating on it and constantly overthinking it, I just tell myself, I am not the person that has to deal with that. Literally, the person I am today is not the person that has to deal with that thing next week. I'm going to be a different person next week. I might have more resources. I might have more knowledge. I might even have more confidence. I don't know. But it's not me that has to deal with that. It's next week, Katie, and she is awesome. Next week, Katie, future Katie, she hits it out of the park. So I call it betting on myself, basically. And so that's how I talk myself into not overthinking things. Like if I have a work presentation coming up, or if I have a test coming up for school or something like that, I just say, you know what, I'll be the person I need to be when that happens.
I love that one. You've shared that with me, and I've adopted it. Like, for example, I just had to do a 30% rehab on a property. And I was like, you know what? This is coming up in a few weeks. Not my problem right now. It's going to be my problem. Actually, it's going to be the future me's problem.
Right.
So I don't really need to think about it right now. But I do something kind of similar because otherwise my mind will just keep ruminating on something. Mm-hmm. So I use that, but I use Todoist as an app. And if there's something I know that I need to get this done, I will put it on a different day where I have more time and bandwidth. And I will not think about it until it pops up on my Todoist app for that day. Oh. And then I can kind of give my brain a break because I don't have to worry about that till later. So why am I going to think about it right now? And it's kind of along those same lines. What I also do is, for example, I'm in a graduate school class and I have to write an 8 to 10 page paper on a leadership characteristic, that sounds like, I'm pretty amped for it, to be honest. Mm-hmm. I've really liked the papers I've had to write for my grad school program. But instead of saying I'm going to put this on for Tuesday, work on my paper, that just feels like, that is a massive project. I'm working on it. I'm not finishing it, but it's just a massive, versus, you know what? On Tuesday, I'm going to write my outline. Or on Tuesday, I'm going to research this topic that's going to be like 2 to 3 paragraphs later on in the paper. Like if I make it bite-sized chunks that I have to do.
So you break it down.
Yeah. So like if I have to, like for example, I need to have some roofing work done. What I do is, okay, well, my job is not figure out the roof. My job is, today I need to call 2 roofers. Or today I need to, actually this is what I have to do today after we're done recording. I have to call my insurance adjuster back. It just bite-sized chunks every day instead of just writing this big open-ended work on paper or this big open-ended figure out roof. I make it bite-sized chunks.
Another thing that I do is I remind myself I'm not that unique of a person.
Oh, that's a good one.
Meaning that if I have a problem that seems like a really unique problem, like a bizarre problem, this is more of like a practical problem I'll give an example of, though. We have squeaky floors that is under our carpet, meaning the carpet's on top and then the floors beneath are squeaky and we need to fix it. That is a weird kind of problem. I don't want to tear up my carpet to fix squeaky floors. Like someone else had to have had this problem before. So then we go and we count on the fact that somebody else has also solved this problem because somebody else has had this problem before because we're not that unique. And then we find, oh yes, they actually make screws that screw in that disappear underneath the carpet directly through the carpet.
Yeah.
They're called squeaky screws.
Yeah. You break off the head of the screw. There's a tool that comes with it and everything.
Yeah, so I just like bank on me not being that unique.
Yeah.
And meaning someone else has solved this problem already. I just got to find what their solution was. I don't have to reinvent the wheel here.
We're talking about tricks, right?
Yeah, just, life tricks, I guess. Hacks.
I mean, one common thing that I do is, here's something I do. I am so not a morning person. It is awful. I'm very much a night owl. So what I've started doing is I don't want to have to make any decisions in the morning. I don't want to have to do anything logistical in the morning because my brain takes a long time to buffer. So instead, I'll pick out my clothes the night before, put them in the bathroom. Everything that needs to go in my pockets, keys, AirPods, wallet, Sharpie, whatever, I put it there. If I have to go do work, like some type of construction work, I have all my tools in the vehicle ready to go already the night before. So in the morning, I wake up, put on my pre-picked clothes. My daughter already has breakfast that I brought upstairs the night before that's ready to give to her in the morning before I leave to take her older siblings to school. So like I know my strength is at night, my weakness is in the morning. So things that I usually have to do in the morning, I prep or just do them the night before. Because one time I really wanted to, I got into running back in like 2016 and I was downing myself and struggling to get up before work and go running. And I was on the phone with you. We were just friends at the time. And you were like, maybe you just need to accept that you're not a morning person. And maybe you just need to go run at night. And I was like, I keep fighting my natural rhythm of being a night owl and not a morning person. So I started running at night, like at 9 o'clock in my neighborhood. And I did it for months and months and months and stayed on it because I'm a night person.
It's interesting how those cultural expectations of like, you should do this in the morning.
Yeah.
Like bind us into habits that aren't ideal for our makeup.
Yeah. Like you need to find what works for you that's more tailored for you. Like everyone has a natural energy cycle during the day, a natural like, my peak mental like acumen is late morning. Like between 10 and noon is like my peak. So anything that requires a lot of like cognitive work, I want to do between 10 and 12. I'm not going to try and do it in the afternoon when I'm feeling more sluggish. You know what I mean?
I know of a new hack that you're trying out.
I don't even know what you're talking about. What is it?
You are starting to track my cycle.
Yeah.
You are starting to track.
It is a hack.
You are starting to track the phases of my cycle. He has put it into his calendar and has put little reminders on things that he can do during those times in my cycle.
Oh yeah. Can I kind of go through what some of my notes are?
Yes, you can. And then actually we're going to talk about it. That's part of what we're talking about today.
Oh, okay. Well, good segue. So I know on average how long your cycle is. So divided by 4, there's your 4 segments for your 4 phases. And I have the first day estimated of each phase pops up in my calendar. And then you had sent me a TikTok, was it?
Something like that.
that showed like more or less like what you need during each of those phases. So during your follicular phase, you want to feel alive. So then I have Katie follicular on this date alive. So no, this week, okay, this is the vibe that's going to be optimal in our relationship and optimal for you. Maybe we're going to be doing more like playing ping pong, playing darts downstairs, going out, doing new stuff. And then there's another phase, ovulation. You want to feel desired. And then just like, so there's a key word for each phase, and it kind of gives me a good like focus.
There is some loose research behind this. And when I say loose research, I mean, these are not randomized controlled trials. There are didactic diary studies that when researchers followed both partners daily, women's hormone levels predicted shifts in how they rate their relationship and how attracted they felt to their partner. Oh. So in one 15-day diary study, the increases in estradiol, I can never say that word right, were linked to lower relationship evaluations and lower in-pair sexual attraction, while progesterone shifts tended to align with more positive relationship evaluations and well-being. What is interesting about this, that doesn't sound like mind-blowing, right? Because of course your hormones are changing and so things change. But what's interesting about this is male partners did perceive these shifts, and they had shifts in their own mood and satisfaction, but they couldn't identify why. Meaning that every month they were experiencing this cyclically.
Yeah.
Much like the woman was experiencing something cyclically. But there was no like rhyme or reason which led to relationship frustration because it seemed just random when it wasn't random.
So really, it's also in my best interest to know what's going on with you and your cycle then.
That's kind of the argument, yeah. That if you're in a long-term relationship with somebody who has a cycle, that it is good to know about their cycle. And this isn't like, see, there's a stereotype out there of like, oh, she's PMSing, right? Or, she's emotional. Oh, it must be that time of the month. This is not what we were talking about. We were talking about a holistic view of the 28-day, not always 28-day, but they say 28-day cycle of a woman and what they go through in each phase. And they're different. They have different unique needs in general. Not every woman experiences these symptoms. Not every woman has these exact needs. But if you had to generalize it with these kind of studies that they've done, they have kind of unearthed that men are impacted by this, but it just seems random and chaotic to them, not predictable, when really it is predictable.
Yeah, because this seems super predictable. Each like phase of your cycle, and if it's 28 days, obviously it's a week. Mm-hmm. And if it's longer, it's longer than a week. If it's shorter, shorter than a week. But like they all have their uniqueness to them. And so the caricature of, she's on her time of the month, like you're making a really, really silly caricature of a much broader biological system, because there's a theme every week, right?
Yes.
And it's something that like you can't help. It's just what happens naturally. And it's silly to be like, to discount it by saying something like, oh, she's on her time of the month, man. It's rough over here. You know what I mean? Like that's just,
right. And there's so much more depth there and so much more knowledge and education that you could gain versus just stereotyping it.
You know what? I feel like a lot of times we need to be more like Ted Lasso. And I think of the darts scene in the first season where he's like, I don't know if he said, don't judge, be curious.
Yes.
Because I feel curious about the phases. Like that's fascinating.
In one study, when male partners felt informed, involved, and understood the cyclical pain and mood changes, both partners reported less distress, better coping, and women felt more supported.
That makes a lot of sense. Pretty intuitive. I mean, you want to be in sync with each other.
Versus men that felt uninformed, felt a lack of understanding, amplified helplessness, frustration, relationship strain. It wasn't about just cramps. It's about rather both people felt understood or on the same team around these cyclical symptoms. There's a lot of talk out there about relating the menstrual cycle to different seasons. And in these different seasons, there's different like needs, right?
Seasons of the year? Like
yeah,
weather?
Season of the year. So menstruation, so your period, the part of your period, they would call that winter. And a lot of women experience low energy, cramps, back pain, headaches, worse sleep, more emotional sensitivity. Sometimes they're more withdrawn or irritable. And what many women tend to need from their partner, and again, these are generalizations. Some women experience more symptoms than this, more severe symptoms than this. Some women experience less symptoms than this. But as a generalization, what many women tend to need from their partner is physical comfort and practical help. So offering of heating pad, pain meds, water, snacks, taking over some chores, cooking, errands so she can rest. Gentle check-ins to promote emotional safety, like how's your body today? Anything I can take off your plate? Low pressure closeness, like cuddling, movies, quiet time rather than high stimulation plans. And extra patience. And then respect for boundaries, like if she doesn't want to be touched or doesn't want to have to do social plans and stuff, don't take it personally. This isn't like a personal dig towards you. It's okay for her to say no without guilt.
I feel like having the knowledge of what's going on with you as my partner, so I'll say my partner, knowing what's going on with your partner helps you differentiate between, oh, this doesn't have anything to do with me. I don't need to feel defensive or weird about this.
Right. Or helpless. So think comfort, care, and zero pressure.
Oh, can I mention something before you go on to the next phase? That it wasn't, I didn't know that your menstrual cycle was any more than just 1 week menstruation period and 3 weeks off. I didn't know there were other phases until like a year or two ago. Okay, like my mid-30s.
You are in good company.
So like I think probably a lot of men similarly may not even know that you have 4 distinct hormonal periods in a month, roughly a month.
Yeah.
Versus you have 1 week on of crazy hormonal things, as men would see it, and 3 weeks, quote unquote, off.
Right.
But it's really like every week there's
changing.
some type of shift.
Yes.
And I had no idea until a couple years ago.
Yeah. So the next phase would be the follicular phase, which is post-period, and they would call this spring. Women commonly experience energy. The mood often starts to rise as bleeding ends. They might be more optimistic. They might have more social motivation. Sometimes they have higher libido, like it's increasing. It's not usually at its highest in your cycle at that point, but it is increasing because ovulation is approaching. And what many women tend to need is shared momentum and playfulness. So plan light, fun, playful activities, dates, workouts together, social stuff, projects. Be open to new ideas, adventures, trying new things. Support her goals. This is often a good time for working on big tasks, self-development, or creative projects. A good thing to ask might be, is there anything you're excited to tackle this week? What can I support you in doing? And having some positive mirroring, like reflect and amplify her good mood, show appreciation, compliments, encouragement. So your mindset here might be thinking yes energy and curiosity and encouragement.
It's helpful to think of it as a season because spring is like, hey, you know what? Spring cleaning. I got some more energy. I'm going to do some things.
That's a good way to remember
I'm feeling
it.
nicer. It's feeling nicer outside, so I feel nicer inside. Like spring is like, okay, let's get up and do something. Feeling nice.
Yeah.
Right? Shaking off the cobwebs of the winter.
So the next phase is ovulation, which is the fertile window. And they would call this summer, right? So the common experience is that, of course, you're at your peak fertility. Women often have higher libido, more confidence, more sociability and flirtiness for many women. And some may also get mild discomfort or twinges because of ovulation. Some women can actually feel when they ovulate. And they can be a little crampy. I sometimes get crampy when I ovulate. What many women tend to need is responsive desire and confidence. So if she's more flirty or touchy, obviously be responsive and don't shut it down or act embarrassed or act like, why such a change in mood? Well, there's a reason.
Yeah. You know what? Because God, I would not want to make you feel bad or self-conscious or shame about your change in your mood when you're feeling good, especially.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to bring you down.
Well, thank you.
But, yeah.
Making her feel desired, genuine compliments about her body, her scent, her presence, making eye contact, flirting, playful tension can feel especially good. Quality sexual connection, if she wants sex, assuming she wants it. She might not, but prioritizing mutual pleasure, not just like quick sex, including thorough foreplay, clitoral stimulation, not just penetration, and make space for her to say what she wants and what feels good. So your mindset here might be show up sexually and emotionally. Think, I see you, I want you, and I'm here with you, not just using you.
That's good.
Then you have the luteal phase, which is my least favorite phase personally, as I struggle with PMDD.
And you struggle with fall.
And I also struggle with fall, and that is considered fall. It's before the period. So common experiences in women, and this is assuming you don't have PMDD. This is just kind of normal in generalization. Your energy may drop, your sleep can worsen, you can have bloating, breast tenderness, headaches, more anxiety or irritability, stronger emotional reactions to things, more self-doubt, and for some, more desire for comfort foods or nesting. What women tend to need is validation without fixing. So reflect back what you see. You're dealing with a lot and it makes sense that you feel on edge. Avoid jumping straight to solutions or minimizing, like saying it's not that bad or you're overreacting. That's not going to be helpful. That's never helpful.
I was going to say that in any
Doesn't
phase.
matter what phase you're in.
That's not really helpful for men on men conversation either. Right. I'm not going to say to a guy, dude, I think you're overreacting. Well, yeah. It depends on the situation with the guy, I guess. Sometimes I say, dude, are you overreacting a little bit?
Yeah. More patience and less reactivity. So this is a bad time for high stake arguments or relationship ultimatums.
Don't bring up something that you've been sitting on for a while.
Yeah, maybe
during
not.
This phase.
Maybe not.
What's the best phase for that?
I would imagine spring or summer.
At the end of this, I think I want to ask you some questions of which phase is it best for me to?
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
If conflict does start, maybe slow down, take breaks, and reassure instead of escalate. Help with planning, organization, logistics when decision fatigue heats. Offer grounding options like walks, simple routines, calming activities, early nights. Reassure and provide security. So more explicit statements of love, commitment, and attraction. Like, I still choose you or I find you attractive, because this phase can amplify insecurity.
That's good to know.
So be her buffer, not her opponent, and think steady, grounded, and kind, even if she feels more volatile to you.
Is fall, I'm going to just say fall and winter. Which one has more like emotional ups and downs, like volatility do you experience? Is it in fall or in winter?
Oh, for me?
Yeah.
Oh, fall.
Do you think it's typical or is that a PMDD thing?
I mean, I think that's pretty common, but I think it's very amplified in PMDD.
Okay. Because I know that sometimes you can edit this out if it's too personal. Sometimes you're like, Jay, I need to start my period.
Yes. I'd feel better after I start my period.
Yeah. Do you think, is that a more normative experience, do you think?
I'm not 100% certain, but it definitely is for PMDD.
Okay.
Like, your period is, for me, my period is like my reset button. Like, okay, I'm feeling better now. You know, I'm not like perfect, but there's relief that comes with it.
Got it. Okay.
Instead of like generalizing this and just being like, well, Katie says that you need X, Y, and Z in this season, here are some more practical questions that you can ask as you try to evaluate and implement something like that. So ask her how she experiences each phase. Like, when you're on your period, what actually helps and what just annoys you? You know, do you feel any shifts around ovulation or PMS, or is your month pretty stable? Because maybe her month is pretty stable. Maybe she doesn't experience these shifts as much as other women do. Invite collaborative planning. So like, would it help to plan big social stuff or tough talks during certain parts of your cycle and keep other times softer? Make it something you're doing with her, not to her, right? being like, we are tracking your cycle together, not I'm tracking it so that I can
handle you.
Exactly. Never weaponize the cycle.
Oh, that would be awful. Oh, man.
Yes, don't use this to dismiss real feelings.
Yeah. Yeah, because you could be tempted to explain away a feeling that you're sharing just because of the phase that you're in, when maybe it's like, that's probably a deep feeling. Maybe you're expressing it a bit more like forcefully.
Yes, right. You want to do this with consent. You don't want to be tracking and doing this without your partner's consent.
And for the record, I got consent before I started doing this on my calendar.
Yes, be a student. I mean, I'm a student of you. I learn you all the time.
Oh, yeah. You're great at it.
And I think this is just the way that you can be a student of your partner. And just as a reminder, some women barely feel these changes while others are hit hard every single month. Neurodivergence, trauma history, chronic conditions, hormonal birth control can all change the pattern of how this presents. But that's just like in general, something that a life hack maybe that you can do to help support your partner, because this isn't just random stuff that happens. There's predictability here, and neither of you need to feel helpless.
Can I look up real quick some good questions to ask you about, hey, what phase should I bring this up or initiate this in?
Sure.
What phase is it easiest for me to bring up a serious conversation about our relationship?
Not the luteal phase.
Okay, so not fall.
Probably spring or summer.
Okay, that's what I thought. What phase is it best for me to ask for your honest feedback about something I'm doing?
I think that I could give that at any season.
Okay. So phase might be kind of irrelevant for that one?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. When are you most receptive to problem solving together versus just being listened to?
Definitely spring or summer.
Okay. What phase is it best for me to talk about big plans, finances, travel, future goals?
I think I could do anything except for the luteal phase.
Okay.
I mean, meaning that like I'm going to be more easily overwhelmed.
Yeah. Yeah.
In that,
keep that in mind.
Not saying that I can't have these conversations at any point.
But if I can wait.
But I'm going to feel more overwhelmed, probably more anxious, and probably overthink more if it's during my luteal phase.
Okay. When are you most decisive and clear-headed about making plans?
Oh, probably. I mean, if I had to really narrow it down, probably summer. Mm-hmm. But spring works too.
Yeah. I know it seems like a lot of these answers are going to be spring or summer or not luteal.
Yeah, basically.
Right. Yeah, like when do you want comfort, reassurance, or extra support?
Oh, yeah, luteal.
Luteal.
Luteal and menstruation. And winter. So fall and winter.
Yeah. Because I think I know that I'm reading these and I'm like, okay, but just based off of what we talked about, I know. What phase is it best for me to plan a busy weekend or social event? Obviously, spring or summer.
Spring or summer.
Energized about trying new things. Yes. When do you want rest, quiet, or slower time together? Fall and winter.
Yep. See, like this is like not rocket science.
It's pretty intuitive.
It's pretty intuitive
once I know the seasons.
You understand.
Yeah. When do you most enjoy quality time together?
Oh, all the seasons. Every single one of them.
When do you feel most, I already know that one, most confident or like yourself?
Oh, summer, baby.
Yeah, you're a summer gal. Nope, I know that one already. I don't even think I need to ask you questions, because if I just know the seasons, it's kind of obvious.
Right. So
never
it's
mind.
Kind of like a fun little, I guess, hack that you can use as a woman for yourself.
I see.
But also as a partner.
You set up this whole episode by doing the hacks in the beginning as a little transition thing into this. And I know I kind of said it earlier, but it kind of just hit like, oh,
maybe
we're going to talk about hacks, and then we're going to hone in on this hack.
Maybe it was planned.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. Now I'm really going to blow your mind. Do you know that men also have a cycle?
A daily cycle, right?
Yeah, that's endocrine driven, just like a woman's cycle is. But it's based off of testosterone. Mm-hmm. So you also have a spring, summer, fall, and winter.
Can I guess?
It's just in a day.
Can I guess?
Yeah.
I think when I wake up in the morning, testosterone-wise, is it spring?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So about 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., testosterone levels are at their highest of the entire day. It's about 30 to 35% higher during this time of day in compared to the evening. So you can have like higher libido, more competitiveness, more confidence, faster reaction time, higher physical performance.
Yeah. Check.
Which is part of the reason why you have morning erections.
Right.
And then strength and aggression metrics often peak earlier in the day. Then you have late morning to early afternoon, which you had alluded to earlier.
I just said that's my most, like, I do all my intellectual stuff.
Yeah.
I'm the most focused.
So that's the male summer. So that's 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
That's so funny that I just said that.
Yeah. So testosterone is still relatively high, but it is beginning to slowly decline. But you will have more focus and productivity.
What did you say?
Mood and motivation are pretty stable. And cognitive performance tends to peak during this window.
What did I say?
Yes, right? So this window is often when men perform best on complex reasoning, competitive tasks, work output, etc.
Oh, yeah. But then I do notice the afternoon slump that starts.
Okay, so your afternoon slump would mirror
Your luteal
my
phase.
luteal phase.
Yeah.
So it's fall. So from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m.-ish,
Oh, yeah. I don't get a second wind till much later.
testosterone drops further. So you'll have a reduction in drive, increased fatigue, reduced libido compared to your morning.
And it's the witching hour with young children.
Yes. What's interesting about this, though, is that physical coordination and muscle flexibility often peak here. So many athletes actually perform best in late afternoon despite lower testosterone.
Really?
Yes. So that's kind of like a little caveat.
You
that's
said
interesting.
strength?
Yes.
I think I do feel like, I don't know. I have to think about that. But
Yeah.
I mean, if it's science, it's science. But
And then you have evening/night. So that's the male winter. So 6 p.m. to like midnight, testosterone reaches its lowest levels. Lower libido, reduced competitiveness, more relaxation-oriented behavior.
oh, I just want to be under my covers in my bed, either on my phone or reading a book or watching a show or something.
Yeah. And then you sleep. And when you sleep, it triggers the next cycle because testosterone is rebuilt during deep sleep, especially during your first REM cycles.
So if you're not getting enough sleep, you're going to have testosterone issues.
Poor sleep can reduce testosterone by 10 to 30% the next day.
Wow.
So as the women operate on a 28-day endocrine cycle driven by estrogen and progesterone, creating the seasonal pattern, men operate on that 24-hour endocrine cycle driven by testosterone.
Riddle me this, okay? So I take Vyvanse for ADHD, which requires enough sleep to function properly.
Right.
So when I feel like I don't get enough sleep, I'm not feeling very good. I'm not feeling very sharp. I'm not feeling very motivated. But when I do get enough sleep, I am feeling all those things. And all this time, I thought it was just because of Vyvanse and dopamine and stuff like that, but it's also because of testosterone?
Oh, absolutely, most likely.
Wow.
In a similar way of you being aware and respecting my seasons, I can do the same thing with you, but in a 24-hour period of time.
Yeah. Don't give me any complex problem solving after 3 o'clock. Like you got a problem that I need to figure out. Can it wait till tomorrow morning?
Okay, that's good to know.
If it's super complicated. But I don't know, but then sometimes you bring up a problem and I get invested immediately. Like, oh, I want to figure that out.
Yeah.
So it kind of depends.
So again, you can see though that if you parallel that with myself, like these are not hard and fast rules per se.
Yeah.
Because maybe I would be able to, handle a complex, difficult problem with no issue in my luteal phase, right?
Yeah, right.
But at the same time, knowing that could be helpful just in the event that I'm not able to.
Right.
Or I'm more reactive than normal.
It's interesting because then I can kind of gauge, this is how I feel different based on different times of the day. Oh, it gives me like a very small, like I'm looking through the keyhole of a door into the room of what it's like for you week by week.
Yes.
The contrast, I mean, not
Yes.
not symptoms. I wouldn't say symptoms, but like characteristics, not the same characteristics, but like the contrast idea, how different you can feel.
Women do also have a daily cycle, but it's driven by other things. They also have testosterone, but it's at much lower levels than men do. And their daily cycle, like a hormonal cycle, is very driven also by like cortisol levels and things like that. But their daily cycle is stacked on top of their monthly cycle. So in comparison to men, for women, the daily changes are much smaller in comparison to the larger picture of the 28-day cycle. So for example, estrogen can increase 300 to 800%
Oh, gosh.
before ovulation.
Okay.
And progesterone rises 10 to 20 times after ovulation. So these hormonal fluctuations are much higher in the overall broadness of the cycle than they are on the daily,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah. So you're talking about your hormonal changes daily are very small in comparison to your weekly or monthly?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, exactly.
What about the shifts in male? Is it like the size of your daily shifts, or is it bigger because it's the only shifting we have?
No, your daily shifts are like 25 to 35%
Okay.
versus a woman's like a monthly shift within like a week or before ovulation or after ovulation is like 300 to 800% or 10 to 20 times, depending on the hormone we're talking about.
So really I should take the difference that I feel between morning, afternoon, and evening times like 10, like the contrast
Yes,
times 10.
yes.
And that's your week by week.
Probably, yes.
That seems pretty severe because I sometimes feel very different late morning than I do like late afternoon.
Yes, so multiply that. That's
That's
good
pretty
point.
stark contrast.
That's a great point.
Thank you. I made that great point. It's late afternoon.
It is.
Still made a great point.
Great job.
Look at me in my luteal phase.
That's funny. Do you think, we're obviously talking about relationships and stuff like that. If you had to pick one thing that makes our relationship or relationships in general better, what would it be?
Oh, okay. Got it.
I already know what I'm going to say.
I know what I'm going to say.
Okay, what?
You got to be friends.
Friends. Okay, that's good.
Got to be friends.
Yeah.
Because then when you're friends with someone, like, I feel like there's an additional layer of respect. I feel like there's an additional layer of like enjoyment. You have more common things that you enjoy together too. I think that there is a more general concern for the well-being of the other person, because if the friendship isn't there and it's more about like just more of the romantic or sensual parts of it, I feel like when circumstances in life change, I feel like that part of your life, the sensual and the romantic, can be more turbulent as well. But I feel like friendship is more steady when the weather gets chaotic.
Yeah.
And you have something that you can always fall back on, even if things are hectic, you're not feeling romantic or sensual, you're stressed and stuff like that. You still have a friend.
Yeah.
And not to say that romance isn't there or, physical intimacy isn't there, but you have this foundation that just makes everything more stable.
Yeah, and relationships go through seasons. And I think that if you're friends, that steady undercurrent is stabilizing when your intimacy might be going through seasons.
Yeah, I feel like you might feel less like roommates and co-parents if you like, because I feel like you're on let's pretend like you're on a ropes course and there's like a net down below in case you fall, and you can just fall into the net. Like my kids go to field trips and stuff like that. That if you I feel like that net is friendship. So you fall, but you don't fall all the way to the ground, which would be like being roommates, being co-parents. Mm-hmm. You fall just a little bit down to your friendship, and then it's much easier to go back up into like the fullness of your relationship because you've only fallen down a little bit, not all the way to the ground.
Yeah. Yeah. I think something that took time, but has made our relationship in literally every conflict we ever have better, is that I truly, truly have come to believe that you have my best interest at mind. That you, meaning you're never going to do something just to spite me or do something without considering me, because I truly believe that you have my best interest on the forefront of your mind. And I think that has made a huge difference in our relationship, believing that,
Yeah. And I think that I agree with that too, because
it changes the lens in which you interpret things.
Yeah. Oh, was this an oversight? Did you have some faulty reasoning here? Did you forget something? Versus like taking it personally, like you intentionally did something to me.
Yeah. That's all. That's all I have for today.
I hope for those of you listening, something was intriguing or sparked a curiosity, or you felt affirmed or challenged. Stay educated. Take the pink pill. If you enjoyed this podcast, please give us a follow and maybe a nice review.